Hello, my beautiful Scorpio. This message is coming to you in divine timing, not as a coincidence, but as a direct response to the silent prayers you've whispered through sleepless nights, the questions you've asked beneath your breath, and the moments you stood still, knowing something bigger was unfolding, but not knowing when or how. And now, finally, the time has come. The energy surrounding you today is heavy with truth. Not just any truth, but karmic truth. You, more than most, understand the weight of silence, the cost of loyalty, the ache of waiting for what you deserve to return. This is not about revenge. This is about justice, about divine balance, about the invisible scales that have tilted against you for far too long and are now, at last, shifting back in your favor. Scorpio, what you are about to receive is not merely a reward, it is restoration. A full circle moment where everything that was taken, everything that was hidden, everything that was denied is now being returned. Not just returned, but multiplied from. The cosmos is not trying to compensate you with crumbs. It's preparing a feast. And the very people who doubted you, who tried to dim your light, who underestimated your resilience, they will witness this transformation not as punishment, but as revelation. Because the truth is, you were never broken. You were becoming. Every betrayal refined you. Every silence sharpened your intuition. Every ending was a redirection toward a life more aligned with your soul. And now, the karmic wheel is turning slowly, surely, powerfully. And this time, it turns for you. If you feel this message in your bones, if a part of you has always known that justice was never about noise, but timing, then I want you to pause for a moment. Breathe deeply and say these words out loud. I am ready to receive what I was always meant for, because you are, and it's here. Scorpio, I need you to listen closely now, not with your mind, but with that quiet knowing inside your chest, the one that has always told you when something sacred was coming. Because the truth is, this a karmic debt, long overdue, is about to be repaid in full. And it's not just about what was lost. It's about what was rightfully yours from the beginning, what was delayed, what was distorted, what was kept from you by people who thought they could manipulate fate. They're no longer in control. The universe has kept detailed records of your suffering, your silence, your strength. And now it's preparing a payout that echoes across timelines. This reward, Scorpio, will not be small. For some, it may arrive in the form of unexpected money and offer, a settlement, a financial breakthrough that changes your circumstances overnight. For others, it will be something deeper, the restoration of a tarnished name, a public acknowledgement, a powerful shift in status that lifts you into visibility after years of being overlooked. And for those of you who've been praying in private for a second chance at purpose, this may come as a door finally opening where everything had once been closed. Whatever shape it takes, understand this. It is colossal. It is just. And it is already in motion. All that is required now is your readiness to receive without guilt, without hesitation, without shrinking, to make others comfortable. You were never meant to settle for scraps. You were born to inherit the crown that was always carved for you. Now watch as it finds its way back home. Scorpio, there is something else you need to know, and it may strike a chord so deep within you that it brings back memories you thought you had already buried. There is someone, coup particulier soul, who once stood close to you too close. Someone who misread your compassion for weakness, your loyalty for naivety, and your silence for surrender. This person, whether they were a partner, a friend, a colleague, or even a family member, made a conscious choice to benefit at your expense. They took something sacred, your trust, your time, your truth, and used it as leverage for their own gain. And you, in the aftermath, were left to pick up the shattered pieces in private while the world moved on as if nothing happened. But what they didn't realize, what they never could have foreseen, is that the universe never forgets, and karma doesn't miss a name. The same person who once felt untouchable, who seemed to thrive while you endured the pain in silence, is now being called into account, not by you, not by vengeance, but by something far greater. Far more precise, the cosmic scales are tipping, and the reckoning has begun. Scorpio, while they face the consequences of their actions, consequences they never believed would come, you are being prepared for something entirely different. Not just a return to balance, but a rise to brilliance. You are stepping into a season of undeniable victory. This is not a comeback. This is a coronation. You won't just recover your strength, you'll magnify it. You won't just find peace, you'll radiate power. You are being sculpted into a symbol of integrity, of resilience, of unshakable truth. Others will look to you, not out of pity, but admiration, because they will see in you what they wish they had within themselves, the ability to rise without revenge, to win without losing your soul. So when the moment comes, and it will, when the world begins to recognize the strength you never stopped carrying, don't shrink. Don't explain. Don't apologize. Simply take your place. You've earned every step of it. Scorpio, I want you to stay alert, not out of fear, but with reverence, because within the next 72 hours to 21 days, the wheel will turn. And when it does, it will be fast, unmistakable, and irreversible. The cards have spoken with clarity. There is a moment approaching, a phone call you weren't expecting, a message from someone you haven't heard from in what feels like lifetimes, or perhaps a random encounter that was never random at all. This moment will not look loud or dramatic on the surface, but it will carry the kind of energy that shifts the axis of your reality. For some of you, it may come as a business offer that validates your worth in ways no one ever did. For others, it could be a confession, a long-delayed apology, or even a truth accidentally revealed that reframes your entire past. And for those who have been walking through the fog of confusion for too long, it might be as simple and as powerful as a sudden, intuitive knowing that clears the path like lightning in a dark sky. This is the trigger point. This is where the story begins to write itself differently. And when it does, something else will follow recognition. Not the quiet kind. Not the private nod in a room with closed doors. No, Scorpio, this will be public, loud, inevitable. The very people who once cast shadows over your light, who minimized your voice, who treated your loyalty like it was disposable, will now be the ones watching from the sidelines. Watching as you step forward, not in bitterness, but in full brilliance. Watching as the very path they tried to block becomes the stage on which you shine. They will not be able to look away. They'll see your name spoken in rooms they were never invited into. They'll watch you succeed in ways they said you never would. They'll hear your laughter in spaces where they once tried to silence your joy. And maybe, just maybe, they'll finally realize that everything they tried to take from you became the very foundation of your rise. But the most important part, Scorpio, is that this time you won't need to prove anything to anyone. You won't need to explain how you got here or why you never gave up. You'll simply be living the evidence. Every step, every breath, every moment of peace will be your quiet revolution. And to think it all begins with a single moment, a message, a sign, a decision that feels small but carries the power of destiny. Scorpio, if you've made it to the end of this message, then know this, it wasn't just a video, it was a calling. Not everyone was meant to hear these words, but you did. And that means the shift has already begun. Your spirit recognized the truth before your mind could process it. And deep down, you already know this is your time. The karma is real. The justice is real. The rise is real. You don't need to fight anymore. You don't need to explain, chase, or convince. Everything that's meant for you is making its way toward you now, faster than ever, stronger than ever, clearer than ever. Let the old stories fall away. Let the doubts dissolve. Let the past finally stay where it belongs behind you. And as you walk forward into recognition, into love, into peace, into power, remember that your light was never meant to be hidden. You were always the storm. You were always the calm after. You were always the fire that survives. Now take a breath and claim what's yours. Your next chapter starts now. If this message spoke to your soul, like it was written just for you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with another Scorpio who needs to remember their power. Like it, save it, speak it out loud, and let the universe hear you say, I am ready. Scorpio, if you are still here, still listening, is still breathing through the weight of these words, then understand this is no longer just guidance, this is confirmation. Confirmation that the ache you carried was not in vain, that the silence you endured was not weakness, but preparation, that the loneliness you mistook for punishment was the sacred space the universe needed to prepare you for the magnitude of what comes next. You were never forgotten, never forsaken, never abandoned by the divine forces that walk with you daily. Every delay was alignment. Every heartbreak was redirection. Every closed door was protection. And now, finally, those invisible threads are pulling tight, bringing everything into place not perfectly, but precisely. The universe does not make mistakes, and it does not forget those who stayed true when the road was darkest. You did not fold. You did not become bitter. You did not shrink to fit into places you had long outgrown. Instead, you kept your heart open, your spirit grounded, your soul intact. And for that, Scorpio, you are being rewarded in ways that will shake the very foundation of your current reality. There is no need to look back anymore. What's behind you no longer defines you. Those who could not see your worth were never meant to carry your light. The old versions of you that once sought approval, forgiveness, validation, they've served their purpose. Let them go with grace. Because the version of you that is emerging now is sovereign, unshakable, unapologetically whole, and you are stepping not into just a season of recognition, but into the era where your name will be spoken with respect, your presence felt before you enter a room, your energy protected not by fear, but by clarity. So breathe. Breathe it in. This is what healing feels like. This is what destiny sounds like. This is what it means to return to yourself. Not as the person they left behind, but as the soul who survived, who transformed, and who now rises not in revenge, but in radiance. Scorpio, this is your turning point. No more waiting. No more second guessing. No more apologizing for the depth of your knowing, the strength of your fire, or the intensity of your presence. The world is ready to see what you've known all along, that you were never broken. You were only being rebuilt. Now go forward, not with haste, but with certainty, not with noise, but with quiet power, not to prove, but to embody. The storm is over. The crown is yours, and the light, the one you always carried inside you, is finally ready to shine without restraint. And when it does, Scorpio, nothing will ever be the same again.